Alright, hey nerds, so I'm just going to say right now, if you are adverse to any spoilers whatsoever, be stats, character art, or anything, I highly recommend you look away now, because not only do we have character art for a certain GHP that's coming up, and his stats as well, we also have some spoiler content for story as well. So, I'm just gonna warn you again, if you want to be spoiled, go right ahead. If you don't, probably should turn off this video. But before we begin, as always, thank you to our data miners, Zanuck, Naz, Kaz. Zanuck actually showed up after saying that he had an emergency. Bless him for doing all this hard work for, the stats. Thank you, Kaz, Naz, for everything you guys do. As always, check them out on Game Press, and you can just check that out in the links below in the description. So, let's take a look at what we got when it comes to character stats, and of course we're going to be looking at their level 51s, and I am going to be obscuring a certain unit that we're going to be, looking at. So we're going to start from left to right. So, first off, Lean. Now, I did not expect her to be too overpowered when it came to power creeping, say, Olivia. And she does not seem to have that. She has a little bit more speed, some less defense, a little bit less res from what I can tell as well, which can be a little bit awkward, but hey, whatever works for her. Just, all in all, she seems to be a balanced unit, nothing too powerful, nothing too crazy. Her weapon obviously makes up for it, but she has the same attack as Olivia. She has a little bit less HP, and all in all, it kind of balances out. From there, though, I will just say, Ishtar, I was wondering how well she would do. I was wondering if she would be able to break certain caps when it came to her attack, her speed, and I can safely say, with those stats, she is going to be a monster outside there. Remember, just remember, she has the ability to gain additional speed when she initiates. She has Swift Sparrow, which adds to that. She has Odd Wave Attack, which just adds even more attack to her as well. So all in all, goodness gracious me, I am actually quite terrified of this. That is actually one of the more frightening possibilities that could have been there for her stats. I honestly expected them to just be like, she has all this speed that she gets from initiating. We don't need to give her any, too much speed. But no, they went all out. They went all out there, and that's crazy. From there, though, let's talk about the other thing, of course. Ares. So, he has the attack stats that I thought he would. He has 30 speed, 30 defense, which is actually decent. The defense speed is alright. It's not it's not the most amazing speed that we could have, but all in all, he has the stats that can really pull off. And again, he is in a horse team, he's a cavalier, he can be in a horse team. And we, of course, have Dark Mistletoe, which will, really settle him down and allow him to just absolutely obliterate people if he manages to trigger his specials. All in all, these character stats are going to be very impressive. I'm just blown away by Ishtar completely. Oh my goodness gracious me. That is some crazy stats. Now, I guess we should talk about the other boy that is available. Possessed boy. The best boy, maybe, if you really want to. And, well, I will tell you he is a red tome unit, and I will tell you he has some really nice stats as well, and, well, he has a very interesting weapon too. At least, according to what I can assume is his weapon. So there you go, guys, there's a sign of darkness. That is, of course, Julius. And a lot of you were wondering what he would look like. Well, he's pointing right at you, and he wants you to come over here. But, honestly, 35 attack is really fantastic. His defense obviously is not that great, but 35 res is definitely an amazing stat. And from what we can tell, at least, when it comes to his weapon and things like that, well, let me just point it out. I'm assuming this because Loptis is, of course, the weapon that we're talking about, and that, of course, is, based on his Dark Tome. At least what I assume it is. Loptir from... I don't know if I'm actually saying these names correctly, but, you get the basic idea. According to this, it grants +3 res, and the effect is skills with effective against dragons are effective against unit. If foe has no skills with effective against dragons, inflicts -6 attack on foe during combat. Which I'm assuming is going to be pretty crazy. And yeah, that's a lot to take in. And honestly, That's going to be a pretty nice GHB unit, a very nice red tome unit, and also, you know, while he doesn't have the speed that, you know, I'm sure some may be wanting from it, honestly, I think he'll be a very effective GHB unit and a very nice free unit to have as well. So there you go. The demon-possessed characters always seem to have such nice stats. I'm not really sure as to why. But from there, let's just talk about a few things, shall we? Within the data, there's, of course, also 2 other characters that have been revealed. And one, of course, is one that we've already kind of discussed. You probably saw him in the trailer, and no, it is not what you think it is, but let's talk about the other thing, of course, and if you want to be adverse to story spoilers, I suggest looking away now. So, there you go. Alright, so let's just take a look-see. The first one, it seems to be a younger sister of Fjorm, perhaps. Or maybe, you know, it's small Fjorm, that's what I'm going to call her, because her name is... Yeah, it's a Y, there's an L, there's a G, there's an R, it's just, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, it's a lot more in there. And then, of course, we have what I like to call, just looking at it, I'm a little bit weirded out, but this one, of course, is what I like to call a Alolan Surtur, and that, of course, seems to be, according to his description, he is a rough and tumble general of Muspel. So not Surtur as you thought. And I'm just going to leave his name, you know, out of this. I'll let you guys figure that out because he will be in the story as well. From what we can tell, these 2 will be available, and one has a merely talking role. The other, of course, will be in battle. So you can kind of guess where that comes from. But well, that's pretty much all there is in the data right now. And yeah, we have a lot to discuss when it comes down to the character stats, but how do you guys feel about all of this? How do you feel about Julius? How do you feel about Ishtar? Where do you stand when it comes to all of these units? Are you still going to roll for them? And if you are, which one are you going for? And what do you think about small Fjorm? From there, that's pretty much it for me, guys. As always, check out the description for links from Twitter to everything else, data miners as well. It's been a pleasure, it's been fun, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Bye, nerds! Bye-bye!